So hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Think Nursing channel, where it's all about nursing, travel and lifestyle, where we're just trying to help other persons with their career, as well as give a little bit of inspiration, motivation, as they go along in their career journey. But today we're going to talk a little bit about something exciting, and that is how to thrive as a nurse working abroad. And whether or not you are somebody already in the nursing field, or you're thinking about venture into or taking up that career path, I would hope that this video will be beneficial for you. All right, so if you're thinking about taking that leap of faith, I hope that you will get a chance to listen to the video in entirety and see how you can and see how these tips can help you with adapting, growing, and succeeding in your career path. If you haven't subscribed as yet, though, I would love for you to go ahead and subscribe, like, share, turn that notification bell on, and remember to hit the thumbs up button. A lot of times persons will ask, why do you want to go to America, or why you're leaving your country, or why you left Jamaica to come to America and work. There are so many amazing opportunities that overseas jobs do offer, including high salaries, exposure to different healthcare systems. You also have cultural experiences and personal growth. It is an adventure when persons can transform their life and their career because of the opportunities that they've received. When you're thinking about working overseas as a nurse, there's so many things that you definitely need to do, and preparation is the key for anything you're going to be venturing into. Whatever role you're going to be going into, preparation is always going to be key. So before you go to any country, it is very important for you to do your research on the country, whether or not you're researching on the weather, whether or not you're researching on the job, the location that you want to live. Research is going to be very, very important. And as a nurse, research is going to entail, you getting information regarding licensing. What are the requirements for licensing? What are the different healthcare systems? What is cost of living going to be like? Language and cultural expectations. All of those are things that you definitely need to focus on when you are planning on moving overseas to work as a nurse or in any area. So if you are planning on moving over here, if you're planning to move to the state as a nurse, definitely the NCLEX exam is something that you need to secure. You need to go ahead and do the NCLEX and then secure a job or a visa, some form of sponsorship, so that way when you get here you can transition better. You have companies that assist you with the process. So if you're going to be using a recruiting company, then they will help you to get fully prepared when you transition here. When I moved to the state, I used the recruiting company, and they did a lot of things for me. When it comes on to me, getting paperwork and everything, all I needed to do was make sure I meet the recruiting company's deadline, turning in those paperwork. So every country has their own, culture, and they have their own norms, and it is up to you to go ahead and make sure that you understand. So whether or not it's in healthcare, or looking at the daily living of persons in a different culture, that is something that you need to understand, and you need to be adaptive towards it. You need to be curious, and you need to be open-minded when it comes on to that. So as a nurse, for example, patient care in your country might just be a little bit different from what other countries culture is. You might find out that here in the US, that family members are so involved in the care, they will be there researching up different options and medications, basically telling you how to do the job, you understand? And so you have to come with an open mind and be of the mindset that you're going to have to respect each other. You just have to understand that you just have to work with it. Another thing when you come here, you definitely have to do is you have to try and work towards building a supportive system. And if you don't have a supportive system, that is going to be a problem for you. It is going to be a problem for you. When you're in another country, it can be very lonely at times because you're so far away from home. And so building support system is very essential. Connecting with fellow friends, connecting with nurses, joining some local groups, or finding some mentorship program. Having those kind of persons around you, somebody who is able to understand you, especially when it comes on to your experiences, that is going to make a very, very huge difference in your life here. If you don't have that kind of support, you're going to just feel isolated. And I did talk about, what are some of the reasons why international nurses are facing burnout so easily. And if you haven't checked out that video, go ahead and check it out. I just posted it a few days ago. I'll try to put the link underneath, so you can also look at it. So another thing that you definitely need to understand in order to thrive as a nurse is the language. And even if English language is your primary language, there is gonna be some difference in terms of the accent, you know, the terms, and you definitely need to understand that effective communication is very critical. So if you're not communicating critically with your patients or with the family members, you know, your own colleagues, then that is going to be a problem. So you have to understand that it will take time, but in the meantime, what you can do is go ahead and get some apps, you know, so that way you can always have that information readily available to help you as they go along with transitioning culturally into the society, or you know, the area that you'll be at. I know some persons might look at it to say the same opportunity you have in your country, you have it here in the US. Probably yes, but then when I look at it, I just think of it that, you know, there is a significant boost in career when you transition to another country, because there's so many opportunities there. You know, when it comes down to certifications that are recognized globally, it is here. When you talk about attending international conference, yes, you can attend them from Jamaica to overseas here, but that is also something that you have at your fingertips. And so when you are a nurse from overseas, or when you're working abroad, it sets you apart from everybody else. So when you return to your country or elsewhere, you know, you stand out because of the amount of accolades or the amount of certifications, the experience that you have gained just by working overseas. All right, I have to take a little time out because, you know, the voice is strong. So in order for you to thrive as a nurse in the US or in any country, another thing that you definitely need to do is you have to adjust yourself to the new environment. Adjusting yourself to the new environment, it can start out overwhelming, and so you have to try to make sure you find the time. You find the time to get self-care taken care of. You have to find the time to focus on yourself. Because if you don't do that, you're going to feel burnout. And you can do simple things to help with self-care. You can do simple things to help with preventing or avoiding burnout from early. It can be going to a restaurant, a local restaurant. You can go to the park, you know, go to a gym. Find something, you know, to engage in. And that will just help you personally and professionally as you go out with transitioning and living abroad. All right. Another important thing that, as I say in my other video, when persons do move from another country, they forget where they're coming from. And that is not supposed to be happening. It is not supposed to be happening. Yes, you can't forget where you're coming from, you know, but remember, you still need to stay connected with your friends and your family. You know, you still need to stay connected with your friends and family, because being away from your loved ones, a lot of times it can be very tough. And so you have to prioritize staying connected. Even if it means that you're going to do one video call per week, go ahead and do it. If it means you're going to send a text message every now and again, go ahead and do it, because they're going to be there. You know, just imagine those persons already understand you. Your friends, your family members, they already understand you. And when you're going through certain experiences in a new country, you need somebody to talk to. You need somebody to vent to. Those are the persons that are going to be there to support you. You understand? Because they already know you. They already understand how you work, how you deal with certain things. And so it's always good to stay connected with those persons. All right. So adapting to a new culture, adapting to the healthcare system, it takes time. But in the meantime, what I want us to do is go ahead and celebrate the small wins. Go ahead and learn from the mistakes. Be patient with yourself and be patient with the progress, because growth, you know, come overnight. It doesn't come overnight. And in order for you to grow personally and professionally, you have to just go at your own pace. Go at your own pace and take your time and make sure you're doing it right. All right. But do not rush yourself into doing something and then eventually pushing yourself into a phase where you're either making errors on the job, or you're just feeling burnt out, you're feeling stressed out, and there's so many other negative effects that can come because of you not taking the time to think about what you're doing. You're not taking the time out to celebrate the small wins. All right. So working abroad for some persons is more than just a job. You understand? It is more than just a job. It is an experience. It is an adventure. Some persons come over here and they make so many memories. They've gained skills, you know, and there's so many things that happens with them that they will have that experience for a lifetime. You only have one life to live. So go out there and make the best of it. And, you know, just remember your friends and your colleagues out there as well. All right. In the meantime, I would love for you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I know a lot of persons will be watching the video every now and again, but not clicking the like, or not clicking the subscribe, but that's okay. I do appreciate you taking the time out though to watch. All right, but until then, I will see you in the next video, and thank you so much for tuning in and making it the Think Nursing channel, where it's all about nursing, travel, and lifestyle. Until then, I will see you in the next video. All right, bye.